Beauty. They have a new eye cream. Oh wow, the color of that is beautiful. They have a new eye cream that they sent to me. I love this company. They had an eye cream that was called Collagen, line filling. I think it was line filler collagen that I fell in love with. And so they sent me this one to try. I'm gonna put it all over the eye. And then I have a base that I really want to try today because lately I've been noticing when I put my makeup on throughout the day, it doesn't stay on. So I'm hoping with a base, things will change. I'm gonna try a new moisturizer, Alpyn Super Peptide and Ghostberry Barrier Repair Cream. Ah! I'm very excited about this. So I actually talked to the owner the other day. Her name is Kendra, and she grows the extracts for her products, which is pretty incredible. And I didn't even know, like she lives in the US. She lives in, okay, hold on. It's where me and my best friend want to visit. What is the name? I don't know why Joshua Tree is coming up because it's not Joshua Tree. It is Wisconsin. You guys help me out. Hi, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, what's the famous place in Wyoming? Wyoming. It's in Wyoming. Sorry, another W state. My bad. If anybody in here is from one of those states. What is the name of that state? That city? It's very Jackson Hole. I got it. Jackson Hole. I was like, wait. So my best friend and I want to take a trip to Jackson Hole, and she's been talking to me about it for a long time, and we are going to do it. And I was actually telling Kendra about it because I was like, oh, I really want to go to Jackson Hole, so I want to see you when I'm there. Thank you so much for telling me my skin looks great. I have been, wow, oh my gosh, so much has happened with my skin over the past 3 months. But I think honestly, meditation, it's interesting. Like I treat skin as like a holistic decision. This is Chanel's La Base. I'm gonna use this because I need a base today. I've been noticing whenever I do my makeup that my stuff doesn't stay on, and I don't like that. So I'm gonna try this base today, and let's see. I normally don't try 2 skincare products at one time, but I woke up this morning and I was like, I need to try a primer. And then I saw this skincare there, sitting there, and I really like her skincare, and it's been very good for my sensitive skin. So I felt comfortable trying these 2 things at the same time. Okay, let's get this base on. I'm really excited about this because lately when I've been putting my makeup on, it just has not been staying. And I think it might, I just recently moved, and I moved to like a drier climate, and I think that my skin just needs more moisture. And I also think what primer is gonna do is I think primer is gonna help lock in the moisture. Like it's gonna create a barrier for the skin, for the makeup to stick to, and it's gonna create a barrier so that the moisture doesn't leak out of the skin. I think that's what's gonna happen. That's what, in my mind, that's what's happening. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a little bit of foundation. Let's see what we got here. Let's do a little bit of Glossier stretch. Vonnie, how are you doing today? What's going on? What's been happening? Okay, I'm gonna take a little Glossier stretch. This is in the color G4. We're gonna take this and we're gonna start to work it into the skin. Oh, it already is looking better. I love that. I am going, speaking of fun things to do today, I am going to not Jackson Hole. I'm not going to Jackson Hole. I'm going to the farmer's market today, and I'm super excited. I got up quite early this morning. I meditated. I did some exercise, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get ready. I'm gonna go to this farmer's market. I told my friend I would be there around now, actually, but she's going with her family, so I'm just gonna see her a little bit after. Not a little bit after, but I'm not as worried about being there on time. I was more so like, let me take my time and get ready this morning, because I just felt inspired to do that, you know? And I also feel like I've been taking my time moving in the right way so that I could get, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you ever wake up in the morning and you make plans to go do something, but it's kind of like fluid, and you're like, I could be there technically whenever, and then you think to yourself, wait, why am I rushing? And then you change your speed. Oh, I love that you're relaxing today. That's good. I love a good relaxing day. Yeah, that's how I feel too, though. I don't feel rushed. I don't feel rushed at all. I do not feel rushed, and I'm not gonna rush, you know? Like, why? Why would I rush? Why would I rush? I'm definitely seeing a difference with this La Base. I can tell a difference in terms of the way that the foundation is laying, for sure. It's gripping better, and it's going on more even. I'm using this foundation that I'm using technically. It's actually a concealer. I'm just using it as a foundation. It's the Stretch Concealer, and I'm just applying it all over the face. I'm excited to see how moisturized the skin stays throughout the day today. Like, what will be the difference with the base? You know, sometimes when I try different things, I don't know how it's gonna go, which is kind of the exciting part. So it'll be cool to like check in later today and just see like, I wonder how that went. I've been really liking this Dominique Cosmetics concealer. This is in the color Honey Roast. I'm gonna grab a little bit of that. This is the foundation, and then this is the concealer. It's a little bit more golden. I'm gonna put that right in the center of the face. Right in the center of the face. That's nice, that looks great. All right. Feeling good, feeling good. Today's gonna be like a quick-ish makeup because I want to, just in the mood, you know? You know when you're in the mood to do a nice quick makeup and you're like, I just wanna look nice, but I don't wanna look like I have too much going on. Okay, take a little bit of this powder, squeeze out all the excess. I'm using a beauty blender. Wet the beauty blender. Okay, dab it in here. The first place I put it is gonna be down here, and then I'm gonna start to work it up. Same thing. I already feel like I'm seeing a difference. This is actually by Dominique Cosmetics. She made a really nice translucent. I've been wearing it all week. I've really been liking how this is interacting with my skin. So I can definitely say it's good for sensitive skin. But yeah, it's setting it very nicely. I'm so glad you like it. You like it like I like it. Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of, thank you for saying that, that's so kind. Okay, I'm gonna use a little bit of, I did this yesterday actually, and I really liked it, so I'm gonna do it again. It might be a new go-to move. I used, Glossier has a new bronzer, which I have been using almost every day. And I took this bronzer, look at that color, nice caramelly color, and I added a little bit of this. This is another bronzer that they made. This is like a very beautiful, like golden, I mean, more, I would say more coppery color. I'm gonna take them and just kind of mix them together. Look how pretty that is together. And I just loved how this looked yesterday. I was like, oh my God, this is gorgeous. Look how pretty that is. So pretty. And I'm gonna put, ooh, like a tigress. I like that. That's so beautiful. Thank you for saying that. Nice. I like this so much. This is so beautiful. So it's kind of like, I like it because it's just, I also, you know what's interesting is it's like, I know I need a little bit more. This is what I did yesterday wrong too. Well, I won't say wrong, but just different than what I really wanted to do it as. I'll do this. I added a little bit. What I did yesterday was I didn't have enough foundation, because this is the thing. That little bronzing step that I just did, that doesn't actually add any more coverage, it just adds color. So I need a little bit more coverage, and then I can kind of go back and add that, which is kind of, somebody yesterday made me laugh. They were like, why would you bronze? Why would you, what did they say? Why would you bake? I don't know what they said. I'm at a loss for words right now for this. Thank you so much. I know, right? My face is shinier than the sun. And you know what? I love that. There's a song by, do y'all know who Colby Calais is? I feel like she has a song that says that. Shining like the sun, or something like that, right? I feel like that's her song. I like Colby Calais a lot. Okay. Any recommendation for powder bronzer? Yeah, actually I do. So NARS just reformulated their bronzers, and I'm gonna use this in a second, but NARS bronzer, this is in the color Laguna. They did Laguna, but they did it in, oh, thanks for subscribing, that's so sweet. Okay, so Laguna is stunning. It's such a beautiful color. Laguna originally was the lighter of the two bronzing shades. I'm trying to remember, it was Laguna and there was another one that was deeper. But what they did is they expanded Laguna, and they did Laguna, like Laguna 2, 3, I think 4. There's not a 5, and I think there's a 6. That is Laguna 6. And I think there might be a 7. Love NARS too, and I think that they just did a really good job with that. So I would definitely check that out. That's what I would do. That's one of my favorite powder bronzers. a little bit more powder. Sometimes you just need a little bit more. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit in the brows. You're welcome. This is Glossier Boy Brow. Somehow I've become a Glossier girl. Like, it feels like overnight, which is so funny because it's not that I don't love Glossier, I do, but I'm just surprised that I'm using so many of their products like daily. This is kind of surprising to me, but that's okay. I like that. It's nice that I'm seeing myself use certain things from the same brand, like this. Okay, that looks great. I love that. This is actually from a small Ethiopian-owned business called Hellas Beauty, and they have a lot of really nice products. I actually really love this eyebrow pencil a lot. Highly recommend. A little bit, I'm just gonna take a little bit of this just right here in the inner corner. Already seeing a difference based on the way that that Chanel primer went on the skin. So how do y'all feel about primers? Because I think it's interesting. I'm noticing now I'm in a completely different climate. I was on the East Coast for most of my life, and on the East Coast, I just never really felt like my skin needed a primer. But what's really interesting is that coming up to the West Coast, I'm gonna try this today. I already think I know what's gonna happen, but I'm very open to like what will happen. Let's see. But it's interesting to see like your skin can need different things in different climates. Like not just different skincare, but maybe different skin prep, which is pretty cool. And also kind of interesting too, like to play around with as a girl who feels like she has it like figured out when it comes to her face. Like I don't feel like I have to like troubleshoot that much anymore. So it's kind of cool to get to a new climate and be like, actually, I do feel like I need to troubleshoot a little bit. This is kind of fun. You don't use primer. Okay. I wonder if it's actually, I wonder if the moisture in the air has something to do with it. I'm super curious. Like, Vonnie, do you ever travel to the West Coast and like feel like your makeup doesn't stay on as well? Just out of curiosity, I wanted to know. I'm using a little bit of this black eyeliner. It's like a soft one. Your skin is dry, so your makeup stays pretty well. Okay, cool. So you don't feel like you need it. Do you moisturize a lot before you put your makeup on? Nice. What moisturizers do you use? Okay, let's use a little bit of NARS Climax Mascara. Okay, I did not know I was going to be doing eyeliner like that today. That was not the original plan, but I'm not mad at it. More moisturizer when in the West and the South. Okay, cool. Heavier or just more? Wow, this looks great. Eyes look amazing. I'm very happy with that. Unexpectedly, we went a different direction than what I was thinking, but it's working. What do y'all think? This side looks so funny. Don't worry, we'll fix it. Oh, hot take. I watched the JLo documentary. the thing that she made that was on Amazon Prime. And I loved it. I actually really loved it. And I think what was really interesting is like after watching it, I'm very confused why people were so unkind about it. I really feel like she was actually being incredibly vulnerable. Not perfect. Like there's a way that people sometimes tell stories where their vulnerability lends to a way that's going to make you feel for them. And I feel like she didn't do that. I feel like she was just like, this is actually who I am. And like, you might not like me or you might like me, but that's not why I'm doing this. I'm doing this so I can free myself from the idea that everybody has of me and let them know that I am a human being with feelings. And I go through things and God, I just love the story. The story was so interesting because the marketing was done right, because I think it was called The Greatest Love Story That Was Never Told. And in the marketing of it, they basically were like, yeah, this is a story about Jen and Ben, and like you can get into it and like listen and blah, 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 blah. And then you get into it, and I hope I'm not spoiling this for anybody, but then you get into it and you realize it's actually a story about self-love. And I was like, wow. It was so deep. Like, especially, I think those who will resonate with it are people who are on their own personal self-love journey. And I also think like we have to think about sometimes the way that certain people are treated. It's like crazy to me. Sometimes I see the way people talk about other people and I'm like, wow, you must have a crazy inner dialogue with yourself. Because it's like, if you're constantly like judging people for putting themselves out there and sharing who they are, I don't know. I felt like it was a very authentic way of telling a story. And I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was really beautiful, and I found it incredibly inspiring. Especially the conversation about self-love. Like, it was interesting how, have you all seen it? It was interesting how she talked about how she never loved herself when she was younger. And like, she was always looking for love outside of herself. And she got married to so many different people, which was very public. And she said she always used to just be like, hey, just keep smiling. Like, not a big deal. Like, nobody needs to say anything about me because I'm fine. I'm unfazed. Like, I'm just living my life. Like, I need to be Miss Congeniality. She was like trapped. She was talking about how she felt trapped in this idea of a star that she's created for herself. And I felt ownership in it too. I felt like she really understood like the role she played in her own life, which I think is a beautiful thing, because I think in order to get to a place where you're like happy with yourself, you have to own who you've become. And gosh, it was so beautiful. Like, the story was basically she was in a relationship with all these different people, all these different men. And a lot of these relationships, she was like, what are these relationships? When she started to say things like, what are these relationships mirroring in me? I was like, oh, J-Lo's going through a transformation. She was like, what is it about me that's attracting this? Because she's like, I always used to say it was them. And then I finally woke up and was like, what is it about me? And I just thought, wow, like, it takes so much awareness to have that personally, privately, by yourself. But to have that awareness publicly is on another level. And I guess, maybe I also related to her because I feel very similar. I feel very, like, I felt seen in her story in terms of, like, the way I've viewed love. I've always viewed love as something that I want, but also something that just feels like things just don't work out. I'll date, I'll be with somebody for a long time, or I'll be with somebody for a short time, and it just doesn't work out. And I'm like, and then it wasn't until I started to like really fall in love with myself. And like, it's such a, like, people don't like that because they're like, girl, yeah, okay, self-love. And like, we've kind of commoditized it in a way where we make it seem like, oh yeah, like, love yourself, girl. If you don't love you, nobody's gonna love you. But like, you are really the only, like, once I realized, like, as long as like I'm alive, I have me with me. That's the only thing I can count on. Me being with me. That's it. And like, that's the biggest love affair of your life, is the love affair you have with yourself. The biggest love affair of my life is the love that I have, that I give myself. And when I started to realize that and love that and respect that, everything changed. Like, everything changed. I stopped needing people to do things for me. Did I appreciate it? Yeah, absolutely. Did I start to ask people to do things for me more? Sure. Because their response didn't matter anymore. It wasn't indicative of their love for me. It wasn't indicative of if they cared for me. It didn't matter anymore because I was in a relationship with myself. And me and myself, we are better than good. We're excellent. This is such a beautiful makeup look. I love this so much. Anyways, if you haven't seen it, it's really cool. It's a really cool documentary. The greatest love story never told. It's beautiful. I love the vulnerability. I love the story. I'll see you guys later. Love.